Oh yeah, well, see, I guess I can start with the attack on Pearl Harbor. Of course, I myself was just before my 11th birthday, and my sister was having a birthday party. And I was sent out to the store to pick up the ice cream for the birthday party, and no sooner I got to the market, they were saying that Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor. Of course, I had no idea where Pearl Harbor was or anything else, and I came home and immediately told my mother that Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor. And even she wasn't quite sure. Then we found out it was in Hawaii, and things just kind of went along. I mean, we weren't really concerned because we were American citizens, and nothing else had come out yet at that particular time. Although all of a sudden, friends of ours that were first generation were being picked up by the FBI and being incarcerated, like in the local city jails, and then they were gone, taken away from the families. And these were mainly members of or officers of the different, you'd say the Japanese associations. Okay. Then as time went on, of course, well, I myself recall, I think it was about a week or so after that, Irving Berlin composed a song, or it might have been longer, Let's Remember Pearl Harbor. And that happened to come out in the newspaper, and so I happened to cut it out and took it to class, and we all learned the song, and not thinking either way of whether I was of Japanese ancestry or anything else, because we weren't really concerned. Okay? And eventually, of course, as things were going along, we weren't. I myself wasn't told about the executive order and whatnot, but then all of a sudden, all the Japanese had to register. The first generation had to register. They had to get the so-called alien registration deal. Of course, my dad, being of first generation, he had to go down. And my mother had a problem. She wasn't really a citizen, although she was born and raised here. And what had happened, what we found out later on, was she lost her citizenship because of the fact that she had married an alien. And this was a law that was, I forgot the name of the law, but I think it was in if you had gotten married before 1932, you automatically lost your citizenship. And this applied to all American citizens, regardless of whether you're Japanese or Italian, German, or anyone else. See? So at the time, she had no other choice. She basically was a woman without a country, and her only choice was to register as an alien, so she even had a so-called alien registration card. Then as time went by, let's see, I think it was, I'm going to backtrack a little. After this birthday party and whatnot in December, that's right, we had just moved in, we're just moving into a new house. So then when there was talk about people, of moving people, Japanese ancestry, the thought came up, well, what shall we do? So my mother decided, well, she wanted to hold on to our house, but the house was my recollection was in the name of three of my uncles who were, their brothers, and of course they couldn't own property. My mother, although she was born and raised in California, basically couldn't hold property because she was, well, like I say, was a woman without a country. So at the time we decided, well, if they're going to move us, and we had no idea where they're going to move us to or anything else, but I considered renting the place and doing something. So after living in the house for about, a brand new house for about a month, we moved in with some friends and rented the house. And as time went by, all my grandparents and my uncles and whatnot decided they were going to get out of the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, and move into a so-called white zone. And this was out just south of Sacramento. And they told my dad, my mother, why don't you move with us? But my dad decided he'll just take his chances and just see what's going to happen. So we remained in Berkeley, and we remained there. And then eventually the executive order came. The executive order came out and all, and then they started making plans. And like in Berkeley, they'd set up an evacuation schedule, and we were supposed to, I think it was around the 27th of April or something we were supposed to go, but then they held us back because I developed German measles, and so they wouldn't let us go right away. But May 1st was a absolute deadline that we had to be out of Berkeley, so we're the last group to leave Berkeley, and we're taken over to Tamparand racetracks, and others were already there, from various areas of San Francisco and the East Bay and whatnot, and living in. Of course, we didn't know what we were going to be living in. So when we got there, of course, nothing but stables, regular horse stalls and stables, and they had a few. They had built a few barracks. So when we got there, of course, I still had traces of German measles, so we were put in the quarantine barracks. So there are 2 barracks that are set aside for quarantine, and those filled up pretty quickly. And so we stayed there, when I was in May, and eventually we were told that we would be moving to, they'll be relocating us to Utah. Of course, we had no idea where Utah was, and even though we had studied American history and whatnot, but so eventually the people in Tamparand, little by little, they had railroad tracks right behind the assembly center there, so we all got on the trains there, and it was about I would say about a 3 or 4 day trip into central Utah. We left Tamparand, and I assume, well, they had all the shades on, so we couldn't see where we were, but I assumed from there somewhere along the way we crossed over the bay, got over the East Bay, and I don't know if we got on the Southern Pacific tracks and came right through Berkeley and whatnot. I don't know. No, but we were going along, and we finally got into Reno, and that was in the morning, and there was a fellow from Berkeley that was attending University of Nevada.